Good evening, good day, my dear friends. Today, we're going to learn how to play the BOXER. Now, a lot of you out there don't know how to use your fingers, finger picking and all that. So we're going to do it with a pleck. Or, for those people that do use the fingers, we're going to do it with a finger style. So we're going to do both versions. So it's one of those songs that everybody should learn. I've done the intro for this ages ago, but I've forgotten that I hadn't actually taught you how to play the bloody song. So this is what we're here to do today. So remember, if you use a guitar pick to play, I'm going to show you how to play it with that. Because what we want to do when we're using a pleck, we want to try and get the same feel of somebody that's picking, which we can do. I've got a little cheat, a little trick on how to do that, which I'll show you if you stick with the video. Before we get into that, download your free idiot-proof paperwork, which you will find by clicking the blue link below this vid. If you don't see it straight away, click the more button, because sometimes it gets lost over the horizon, and you'll find it there. To blue link, and all the chords, the left hand, all the fingering positions are there, including a full layout of the song itself. All right, so have you done it? You get stuck in and do that. While you're doing it, I want to thank all those of you who have joined my Patreon platform to help keep all the free content going, because it is all free. There's hundreds and hundreds of videos now up on the channel. Thanks to those who buy us cups of tea and coffee and the occasional donut by clicking the whatever it is. I think there's a $ below if you want to buy us a cup of tea, which is nice of you. But more importantly, just do a thumbs up or subscribe, because that's the key to it. Thumbs up, subscribe, that'll do me. Forget the tea, forget the other stuff, just do that and I'll be happy. But more importantly, tell your mates who want to learn to play guitar to join the channel, because as I say, it's all free. And if you haven't got any money, you don't have to pay for anything. You get it all for nothing. All right, so shall we begin? The first thing we're going to do is learn the little intro that we do. Now, I'll do fingers first, and then I'll show you with the pleck, all right? So fingers first. All right, so here we are, just a quick overview so those people that don't know what my idiot-proof paperwork entails. It's got our finger positions here quite clearly, and down the bottom here, we've got the beats, all right? Because this beginning is a little bit unusual. Very, very simple, okay? It's played by a fella called, I wrote his name down, it's Fred Carter Jr. A lot of people think Paul Simon played all the guitars on that. He didn't. Fred Carter Jr. was the session player on it. He played with Paul Simon, and Fred played with an open G tuning. So a lot of those beautiful embellishments that you hear within the song, he played, and Paul stuck to the main part of the the finger picking, which I'm going to show you how to do. Also, if you listen to the record, it's in the key of B, and what that meant was, quite simply, he detuned his guitar by 1 fret. So although he's playing the C shape, it was in the key of B. Why that was, I don't know. But if you listen to them doing it live, or you put in the BOXER tuned or concert, or standard tuning, some nice people out there have brought it back into the key of C. But if you tried to play this with the recording, you'll notice it's out of tune unless you detune your guitar by the equivalent of 1 fret. Maybe it was a vocal thing. Maybe it was because of some of the other instrumentation. I've just spat on my guitar. Maybe it was some of the instrumentation with the record. I don't know. All right. And these are my teeth as well, for God's sake. Okay, let's begin. So the intro. I'll play it with fingers first, then I'll show you with a pleck. I'm going to do it on this classical guitar because it's got one of these and it's easy for you all to see. All right. I'll try not to slobber in the process. Here we go. Okay, now, this is how you're going to approach it. 3 fingers here, all right? 2, 3, and 4, all right? Now, if you look below, you'll see the count. 1 and 2 and 3 and, okay? We don't get into the main rhythm of the song yet. This is how it's going to be, this is how it's presented at the head of the track. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Now, on beat 1, you'll notice the little finger is going to pull off. 1 and, okay? 1 and. 1 and then that's all on the first string, and then with that finger off, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and, that's the count, and then string numbers, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, the harder hardest bit of this is done. We now take off this finger, leaving this third finger in place, and we'll play 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right, so together we've got this. And then finally, your first finger will play the second string at the first fret, and we'll play the second. This finger will go on here, your little finger on the third string at the third fret. Now I tend to put that on when required. On the diagram I showed you already on. Let me explain why. We're going to play a 2, and then we'll put our finger on, we'll play a 3, but we'll put it off, pull it off, and then a 2 to conclude the riff. Okay, and that's only got 2 beats to that part. 1 and 2 and. I can't speak today. 1 and 2 and. So we've got this from the top. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and. And then we'll begin with the part that everybody knows. Now that's the part that Fred Carter Jr. played on an open tuned guitar. All right. So with a plectrum, how do we do it? Well, we're going to play exactly the same strings, but we're going to use a pleck. Now forgive me if you hear a few little clicks. I shouldn't be using a pleck on a classical guitar, but I'm going to do it for the purposes of this video. Save me picking up another guitar, all right? So, same thing. 1 with a pull off. I'll refer to the string numbers first. 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then 2, 3 with a pull off, back to the 2, and again. When you lose rhythm, as I just did, you make mistakes, all right? From this angle. And then we go into our main. Now, you can hear, if you were watching me doing it from this angle and I was strumming it, it would sound like, you would think I was doing this. But I'm not, I'm doing this. I want to give the impression that I'm picking, all right? How am I doing that? Well, I'm alternating. I'll carry on with this pleck for a minute. We're going to play, our bass is going to go from 5 to 6. 5 to 6. Why 5 to 6? Well, I'm playing a full C chord. You'll see this on the diagram it's written. There's our C, and I'm going to bounce from the 5th string bass, which is our C root note, to the G bass note above it. Okay, this is why we don't play the C like that. We need the G there, so we play like this. Now, I want to give the impression that I'm picking. So instead of thrashing away at the guitar like this, we're going to play the 5th string with an angle on it, thus missing the other strings below. And then I'm going to do an up, down, up, coming the other way so as not to disturb the bass note I've just played. And then I'm going to do the same with the 6th string, coming away from the guitar, and then the same again. And that way, we're getting the same sort of similar pattern. We're not losing our bass line. Okay? Right, so that's for you plectrum men out there, women. Let's proceed with the finger picking, and then I'll keep jumping back to the pleck. So we've done our intro. Then we've got our 2 bars of our intro. Now we know it's 2 bars. This is where our pick starts. This is the thing we've just done, and you'll see that under here it's got ×2, where we go into our main rhythmic part of the song, which has now got 4 beats to the bar. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and you'll see below that the pick is 5 2 4 3 6 2 4 3. Now you'll have heard me talking about this before. It's known as Travis picking, even though it's not really Travis picking, it's more like folk picking, but it's adopted that title now because everybody calls it Travis picking. I'm not going to explain why now, but you'll see it referred to as Travis picking in lots of places, so I will do the same. What am I doing? Group your fingers together like this, as always, okay? And our thumb is going to play the 5 and the 6, 5, 2, and the 4, 5, 2, 4, 3. Now you'll notice that those strings are outside the 4 and the 3. So think of it like this: out, in, and then to the 6. Okay, let's do it again. 5, 2, 4, 3, 6, 2, 4, 3. And we don't use our first string yet, so we're just using the thumb and these 2 fingers for now. We tend to use the first string when something new is going to happen, but not yet, okay? And remember, we're playing one guitar. Some of the embellishments on the other one, that's Fred's part, okay? We can maybe look at putting a few little bits in later. So we've got our intro. What happens then? Well, we got our song begins. Here's our intro. I am just a poor boy, though my story is seldom told. I have squandered my resistance for a pocket full of mumbles, such are promises. Okay, so there we are. By the way, I'm here to show you how to play the guitar to it, not to perform it. All right, so forgive me if I jump in and out of the song itself. So we've got our first verse. Let's have a look at what we've got. We've got, well, you'll notice once you're on that main rhythm, 5, 2, 4, 3, 6, 2, 4, 3, 5, 2, 4, 3, 6, 2, 4, 3. Now you'll notice here our bar is split. What does that mean? It means you've got 2 chords between 4 beats of the bar, 2 here and 2 there. And this is where he does a beautiful little rundown. We're on C, so we've got, this is where he sings stories seldom told. Stories seldom, what are we playing? 5, 2, 4, 3 on your C. And then we're going to bring this second finger up to the 5th string to play a B note. Okay, this finger remains. And we'll play 5, 2, 4, 3 again here. It sounds a bit unusual when it's out of context, but when you add the next chord, it all makes sense. So 5, 2, 4, 3, 5, 2, 4, 3, and then onto our A minor. 5, 2, 4, 3, 6, 2, 4, 3. Why a 5 to 6 on A minor? Because that is our A root note, and our 6th string is our alternating bass note. Then we're going to play a G. Now there's going to be some nice descending notes happening here on the 1st string, so we want to bring that into play. So instead of just playing a 6, 2, 4, 3, why are we saying 6 and not 5 as we just did? Well, we're on G now, so we're just going to alternate from the 5th string to the 4th. You could, if you wanted to, alternate from the 6 to the 5, because we do have a finger here, but he doesn't, so we're going to go 6 to 4. Keep that on anyway in case you hit it by mistake, which you're likely to do, as I often do. So we're going to be doing this. But also we want a 1st string, and let me play the part and I'll explain. Hear that? So if you look at your 3rd row down, we've got our G's beginning with 6 and 1. 6 and 1, 2, 4, 3, 6, 2, 4, 3. Okay, and we do it again. Then we go into a G7th by bringing this 1st finger into play here, taking this one off. 6 and 1 again. 2, 4, 3, 6, 2, 4, 3. G6th. You probably haven't heard of that. Just take that finger off. There we go. Alright, so that run is from the 2 G's. I'll count the beats. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 back to your C. If I sing that verse now slowly, we've got, I am just a poor boy, though my story's seldom told. I have squandered my resistance for a pocket full of mumbles, such are promises. I am just a poor boy, though my story's seldom told. I have squandered my resistance for a pocket full of mumbles, such are promises. Okay, now you'll notice at the end of each of these chords is a 3rd string. That's the 3rd string. You've heard me saying this before. When we're changing chords, we'll bring our fingers off on that 3. because we're playing in the key of C, it's an open string. It fits with all the chords that we're going to be playing. So lifting your fingers off on that last third string, I'm sure I've got something wrong with my teeth. I had my teeth cleaned the other day, and they must have removed something that stops me slabbering all over the place. Christ, I'm getting old. Okay, on to page 2. So we've got, we're on to page 2. Same sort of thing. All lies and... Okay, now you'll notice again, we've got one bar split between 2 chords. Okay. All lies and jest, still and then we've got that G with a C, with the 6 again. Man hears what he wants to hear. Now I'm playing an F there with a bar, and some of you'll think, oh God, I thought it was too good to be true. If you can't do a bar chord, don't worry. Just go to an F like this, a 5-string F, and play. You use a C bass note as in the 5th string, and just do this. You will get away with it, all right? And don't worry too much about this string here, because we're not using it. So you can actually do that. So there's your C. If you bring those down there, for God's sake, though, don't hit the 6 or the 1, otherwise you're in trouble. I'll do it like that just to show you, for those people who are worrying about bar chords. So, all lies and jest, still the man hears what he wants to hear and disregards the rest. See the way I got away with it? You wouldn't have known. You wouldn't have known. You know. But if you want to do it with the bass, you'd be playing 6, 2, 4, 3, 6, 2, 4, 3. Why 6? Because that is the root note, okay? And so on, and so on, and so on. All right? With exactly the same pick as we've done, all right? Because I want to get into the pleck thing for those people who want to use a pleck. So we've done that bit. Now when you get to the chorus, you know, we've got, let's have a look. Again, we're bringing the, when it goes, la 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 la, la 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 la, la la la, la 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 la. That bit, it's a bit high in the morning for me to be singing. So we've got 5 and 1 on the A minor. This is page 3. 6 and 1, la la la. Oh, then to a G. So let's do that again. A minor, slowly. La la la. La 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 la. To a G. La la la. La 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 la. Did you see the way those 6 and 1s come in? I'll do that again, that second line. La la la. Now some people, you see Paul Simon, he picks, but he also has a thumb pick on his thing. So when you get to that bit, you could go, you could sort of, la la la, la 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 la. You could do that if you wanted to, all right? You wanted to. Anyway, they're the 3 main parts to the song, all right? So we've looked at those as for you finger pickers. Remember, one more time, everything that you're required to play with your fingers is written clearly. The shape and everything you do underneath the shape, all right? All you have to remember, you finger pickers out there, is don't get your fingers in a muddle by using the first finger to play different strings or any of the others for that matter. They're locked into these positions, 3, 2, 1. That's the way it is for this particular song. Thumb will look after your bass notes, all right? And as far as the picking patterns are concerned, other than that one that you'll throw in every now and again, you know, the root note. If you're playing C, that's your root note. If you're playing G, that's your root note. If you're playing F, that's your root note if you're doing a bar, or you can use your C bass note if you want to do the simplified one, all right? Most important thing is nobody will know if you do that little bit of cheating, all right? So, how would that affect if I was playing on the, hold on a minute. Let me grab another guitar, just bear with me. Choose this one. All right, so for you guitar. I don't like using the pleck on my nylon because it's not good for the strings. So what am I doing? So same sort of thing, but instead of doing the, think about the fingers if I was finger picking as the upstroke to a pleck. So we want to do the same sort of thing. You know, the pick was 5 2 4 3 6 2 4 3. Well, in your head, think of 5 2 4 3 6 2 4 3. You know, you could actually, if you were accurate enough. Of course, we wouldn't do it. We'd sort of. But in your head, and we're sort of dipping in and out of the strings. Did you notice? I am just a poor boy, though my story is seldom told. I have squandered my resistance for a pocket full of lumber, such are promises. All I suggest, till the man hears what he wants to hear, and disregards the rest. Verse 2 is the same as 1. When I left my home and family, I was no more than a boy in the company of strangers, in the quiet of a railway station, running scared, laying low, seeking out the poorer quarters where the ragged people go, looking for the places only they would know. Chorus. La la la. I put that little bit in. Now, a couple of embellishments that you want to try. But you guys on the pleck, you know, when I'm playing a G, I'm going from the 6 to the 4. I missed it. Missed it again. If I'm playing F, 6 to 4. Or 6 to 5, it doesn't matter. Always remember when you're singing these songs or picking them, all the audience are interested in is you're singing, all right? The guitar is an accompaniment to the voice, all right? It's only if you're going to play a solo guitar part would you have to be really accurate. When you're doing stuff like this and playing, and you watch Paul Simon, he'll play different things all the time. Now, a couple of little embellishments that you might be interested in. That's a nice one when he goes from a C to a G. So I'll play it on this. So we've got. So 5 and 2. So 5 and 1, sorry. Going from, this is getting from C to a G. 5 and 1, 2, 4, 3. Now that's a partial G, that, believe it or not. It's a G with a B note, and all I'm playing is that there. This is like your feeling groovy one, which I've put links to below. I'll explain in a minute. 5 and 2, 5 and 2, and then pick up your. Etc. Look, that's a different lesson, really. I just wanted you to get into the main thing. Now, when you've learnt all the little bits and pieces that we've just discussed, you will then go onto your page 4. And everything that we've just done, if you go over all the little bits on pages 1, 2, and 3, looking at all the the technical side of how to play the bits, then you will get to your song. All right. Now, what I've also done with your song, I've included the solo. Now, the solo is optional. Where you go, but if you haven't got an instrument to play that, then you would just go straight into the chorus. If you were going to play the solo, then you, as it says here, you would play the same chords as you would on verse 2. Well, unless you've got another instrument to do it, then you would just go straight to the chorus. All right. What we don't want to do is bore the pants off the audience. All right. So we've got our first verse 1. We've got verse 2, where you see chords here. With 2 chords within the lines. They're those things where you've got 2 beats on each chord, which we discussed before. All right, so we've got that. We got verse 4. We've got all the whole song, you know, it's all there, it's all done. Now when you get to the end, again, the outro is optional. Okay, because there's a lot of fiddling around. So what I would do on the ending is la la la, at the end of the chord, la la la, la 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 la. Rather than do all that, because you know, again, when you've only got the one instrument and you haven't got all the embellishment of all the other stuff that goes on in the record, you know, it can sound a bit, unless there's anything happening, it can sound a bit boring. All right, quick recap then. So finger picking, 5 2 4 3 6 2 4 3 5 2 4 3 6 2 4 3. If you're on G, it would be 6 2 4 3 6 2 4 3. Or if you could, or you could go 6 2 4 3 5 2 4 3. Always worth putting that finger on there, just in case when you're playing the F. Again, the root note is here. If you're using a bar, 6 2 4 3 6 2 4 3. Or we could, if we make a mistake, go 6 2 4 3 5 2 4 3. It's not a mistake, it's just not what he's playing. If you know, that's why it's important we have fingers on. A minor, 5 2 4 3 6 2 4 3. E minor, 6 2 4 3 6 2 4 3. Or 6 2 4 3 5 2 4 3. Okay. Now, as a rule, I tend to, if ever I'm going to a new chord, I automatically put a 1 in just to give it a little ding. You know. La, la, la. It's not exactly what they're doing, but it's worth knowing. All right. Now, I've also included about another 7 Simon and Garfunkel songs below this video. All right. I think we've got, and Paul Simon songs, you know, so we've got Feeling Groovy that we talked about before, Mrs. Robinson, tons of them, 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover, Slip Sliding Away, and others, lots of Simon and Garfunkel tunes. But if you wanted to learn things like you know, things with the little riffs in that you normally don't find. Or you find them, but they play them up here, but it means you can't actually play it as part of your repertoire. I've arranged it so you can actually do them. Now, there's about 8 songs there, and I've also included, and this is important for those people that want to learn how to pick, they're doing this stuff but don't know how to. Look at the very bottom of the links, and you'll see a lesson on Travis picking. All right, it tells you all about how to get into the. And I've probably cited the BOXER as an example. Okay, so there we are. Watch the video over and over again, you folks, because you know, I have to go at a little bit of pace, otherwise people will just get bored and turn off. But again, remember, everything you need to know, everything to do with little pull-offs, it's all here. Okay, so if you follow this and watch the video a few times, if you're not sure about your picking, watch the Travis picking. You plectrum people out there, one more time just for you, okay? If you're playing your C chord, you want to be coming down from your 5 to your 6. If you're playing your G, 6 to your 5 or 6 to your 4. If you're F and you're barring, 6 to 4 or 6 to 5. If you're going to abbreviate the F, then it's very important that you mute the bass and you mute the first string. Otherwise you get a major 7, as I've just done. I don't like that, so try and get at least that finger on if you're using a plec. Don't forget, with a plec you do not have the control of fingers, so you've got to be careful. But you can do an improvised F like that by just doing one finger across 2 strings and just mute the bass, or bring your thumb over and play it. It's up to you, whatever's easiest. E minor, 6 to 4, 6 to 5. A minor, 5 to 6. And that applies to anything you'll play, all right? And again, remember the little dipping in and out of the strings. Pull away when you're playing your bass note. See the way I might angle that way and then the strum that way. And that's how you get that. When you watch somebody playing it, You only just see that, don't you? But really, it's a little bit of technique. It's worth watching the lesson just to know that, isn't it? All right, and don't forget there are 8 masterclass lessons that I've done out there. Again, it's all free, all the paperwork's free. So if you know people who want to start off and they're just kicking off on guitar, then give it a look. All right, I'm going to do, I don't know what I'm going to do next. I'm thinking about doing White Rabbit. Jeff's nerd playing. What do you think? Do you think people will like it, or am I wasting my time? Let me know. All right, I've had to try and get me, I can't sing like Grace Slick, but I've got a good arrangement of it if you want to do it. Do let me know. Right, in the meantime, and look after yourselves. Get stuck into this one. It's a great, great song. Remember that there are another 9 or something links below to all the other lessons I've done on other Simon and Garfunkel songs and Paul Simon songs, and also that additional lesson for Travis picking, should you wish to want to learn how to do the picking. All right, on that note, I'm going to love you and leave you. Look after yourselves. Bye-bye.